Hello, 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 and welcome back to the latest version of Minecraft, Minecraft 1.19, where we're going to start a new series. Unless we decide to change things up a little bit. Let's travel back in time. Welcome, my friends, to Minecraft 0.14.0. Rather, Pocket Edition 0.14.0 Alpha. This released February 18th, 2016, and this is the Overworld update. This was a pretty major update for Pocket Edition, and it was only the second or third version for Windows 10 beta, which we're playing on right now. This added some basic redstone components like comparators, repeaters, droppers, hoppers, and a bunch of the minecarts that we know and love today, but we didn't have any pistons. For those of you who are unaware, back in the day, a lot of the redstone components were introduced in 3 separate updates. The dust was introduced first, all of these were introduced second, and pistons were added later on. So, obviously there's not too much that we can do with these components, but it's still really cool to have them around. This update also introduced functionality for cauldrons where we can dye them, version exclusive. Potions will bubble and we can use them to create tipped arrows. They introduced item frames and maps into this update, as well as witches and witch huts and slime blocks. This update focused on changing a bunch of things about the overworld, including updating a lot of the textures and models for cows and many other mobs, as well as improving the structures that were already added to the world. To our modern standards, this is probably a fairly small update. Back in the day, this was huge. I spent hours and hours just experimenting with these components that we had over here, making doors and traps and all of that with it. So I decided to travel back in time and start a new world back in this day. As you can tell, everything looks really different. This is all before the texture update. This is from before glass panes were changed. They're still cross shapes like this. This is old, y'all, and we are going to have some fun in here. I will add a disclaimer that, as you just saw, the options to change controls in this version were not yet introduced. So I am not going to be playing at my finest right now, because I normally play with swapped left and right click functions and swapped inventory and drop functions, and I can't do any of that in this. So, we're gonna see how this goes. Let's jump right into a new world. Navigating through some of these old menus, it's time to create our new world. Let's name it Zing's Childhood. This is where some of my earliest worlds came from. A lot of the ones from before this were lost, but I still have some worlds that I created back in this time, and I can still tour them to this day. We're going to keep this a survival world with achievements on in infinite mode, for now at least. And we're going to use this old seed, which is one of my favorites of all time. I've created a lot of different worlds in this, I've played in different realms in this. I'm really familiar with it overall, and I'm so excited to see how it goes. Before we press create, let's have Editor Zing pop in here and tell you a little bit about the world. Without spoiling too much, this is a world with sprawling plains near spawn, as well as a large swamp biome and a desert. The swamp biome and the sprawling plains connect to a grand ocean, which will certainly come in handy in many of the later updates. In addition to the swamp and plains, we have a birch forest, a dark oak forest, and a handful of villages near spawn. A lot of the terrain in this area, although slightly glitched out because, 7 years ago the world generation was not quite as pristine as it is now, a lot of this terrain just really makes me want to build and transform it into something magical and new. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll take a moment to appreciate the 0.14 alpha render distance. I'm playing on a maxed out gaming PC, and this is the furthest that my computer can render. But with all that fun, let's jump into the world. 3, 2, 1. Hello, new world! Here we are, back in survival with a brand new world, brand new inventory. Let's get punching some trees. I can already tell that this controller scheme is just gonna totally mess with me, but the nostalgia is more important than it anyway. I think I can deal with it for at least a couple of episodes. If I get into this old crafting menu, I think now's about a good time to discuss the goals for the series. Oh gosh, there's no recipe book. What am I gonna do? I have to... Oh, this is gonna be so embarrassing. I'm gonna mess up so many different recipes here. It's fine. It's fine. Right, I'm hoping with this series that we'll be able to move from version to version pretty quickly, especially at the start, as we start to get some of the quality of life features that we know and love to this day. A lot of those start to come in between 0.16 and around 1.2 when it transitions into Bedrock Edition, and that's around the goal where we kind of want to aim for and maybe settle down for a bit once we get there. But at least for the starting bit, these episodes are going to be pretty short and largely just be one version per episode, where we'll cover the changes that have happened between the two versions, and then the next episode we'll move on to the next one. If we can get a start in survival and start to actually demonstrate all of its new features in a survival world and build up some infrastructure and start to get to that point that we know and love, I think we'll have a fantastic time in this brand new nostalgia trip. Knowing that a lot of people are pretty new to Minecraft, it's grown a lot in the last few years, I know that a lot of people simply haven't experienced this era of Minecraft, with all the old textures and the slower gameplay and all the smaller builds. Everything is completely different now. Things are so much faster and so much easier, especially with the introduction of the Elytra, but we don't have that. This, again, is 0.14. There's no such thing as an Elytra, there's no such thing as the End Dimension or the Ender Dragon. That isn't a thing in Pocket Edition just yet. Quick cut there, I noticed that my inventory has been cut off this entire time. I apologize, I'm a professional. Anyway, I'm hoping that this series can serve as a little bit of an introduction to a lot of the newer players into just how the game was back in the day. I know that there's a lot of videos, especially by legends like Etho, who I 100% suggest that you check out. And series like Etho's cover just how the game felt back in the day really well, but sometimes having this modern perspective on it where we can actually see what we're missing and see all the changes that have happened can be really helpful to learn about how the game has evolved. Already I'm seeing a couple of differences. Notably, killing those sheep doesn't drop mutton. That's not a thing yet. There's also a ton more grass around the world. Personally, I really like this, and I'm not entirely sure why it was removed later down the line. Java still has this much grass, but Bedrock just doesn't, and I'm not entirely sure why. I kind of miss having all this grass and the free availability of seeds to build stuff with. Did not mean to put that crafting table there. There's the wrong button placement once again. Oh no, look at the old wheat texture. Oh my goodness, this is one thing I absolutely do not miss. Hey you, let me just check my buttons. That one's the normal one. This one. Something fun here. Villager trading doesn't exist yet. 0.14, there's no villager trading. There's villagers, but there's no trading with them. What am I supposed to do with this? Oh gosh, I guess I just kind of have to send some of them into some holes for a little bit and just kind of save them for later. Just, yeah, you stay chill and happy down there for now, buds. Just as well, I barely remember these older village structures. Are there beds in these houses, or was that just not a thing? Are there any chests? Oh, there's flowers in here. I'll take that. But I was kind of looking for chests. I was hoping for some food, maybe. No, too much for someone to ask for. All right, that's fine. Beds. All of them are red. Oh, this is before the introduction of colored beds. Oh, I love the red bed. So classic. Classic. I think we take a trip to the other village, maybe. We've got a couple villagers saved up over here, but it's not quite doing it for me. Other village is right over there. You can kind of see it peeking over the horizon. I'm hoping that this village actually has some chests, maybe a bed? Is that only a 1.14 village and pillage type of thing? Jeez, we're in 0.14, not 1.14. Come on now. There's some sand and gravel over here, which is a good sign. I don't think concrete is a thing yet, but we do have the ability to make glass, which is going to be really important for our initial house. Ooh, does your FOV change when you go under an... Oh no, I don't like that. Is it still like that? In case you haven't already noticed, I tend to play with a slightly higher FOV. I tend to aim for about 75, but if you look at these old menus, you don't actually have that granularity. So I don't actually know if my FOV is correct. You look like you have professions. Still can't trade with you though. Right then. Oh, a blacksmith. I have to actually turn off this lava because there's no fire spread option. Oh, a chest. Let's go to bed. Oh, there's no animation. Oh, yeah, we're in the old times. Waking up right next to the chest. You know what? I'll take it. Oh, wrong button. I'll take it. We are decked out now. All good and... I stole your stuff. Sorry, guy. Not really sorry. You can't even trade with me. I'm not sorry. I'll steal your stuff every day. Oh man, I forgot. Blacksmiths' houses used to be the core source of all the good stuff in the world. It was blacksmiths' houses and that one villager house which had all the bookshelves in it, which I don't think we've seen yet. It's alright. I'm just gonna cheekily get some of this cobblestone. I might just like totally tear apart this blacksmith's house. No regrets. Oh, I found one! House with the bookshelves! Here we are! Yeah, I think I might save these until a little bit later down the line when I need some of these, but it's good to know that this is around. Let's head back to spawn and see what we can build. Ah, good God! Zombies set you on fire when they hit you! Oh, that's a zombie thing. That's a Java thing as well. When zombies are on fire, they hit you and then you get set on fire and the same thing happens, and that's why no one uses fire aspect swords. That was a thing on Pocket Edition. Unbelievable. That was terrifying. I just saw a zombie come out of the woods and I expected, hey, it's fine, it'll burn off. But then it hit me and I got... Unbelievable. I'm so glad that that was removed, honestly. People actually use fire aspect now. It's not terrifying to be set on fire. Oh my gosh. Some of these features are just gonna come as shocks to me. But it's honestly kind of surprising how with on fire mobs setting you on fire as well as all the grass changes, it's interesting how with all the parity that we have nowadays, this is kind of a step back from Java. These were things that we originally had in parity, but they were actually removed, which is fascinating. I'm not entirely sure why that was, but to be honest, I'm grateful for the zombie change. Maybe not as much for the grass one, but it's interesting to see how all these changes have made Bedrock and, Pocket Edition into what it is today. Back in the day, all this grass was probably, I don't know, maybe it was a rendering tax. It was just too laggy, especially on low-end mobile devices. But these days we're just begging. We're begging for more foliage, and we're getting that with all the cherry grove biomes and all the pink flowers. But it's hard. It's hard to just keep adding stuff and then looking back at all the old things and just wondering how it still felt so immersive even when there were so many things that were missing. Back in this day, we don't have things like spore blossoms to give us particles or custom note blocks and music discs and all of these amazing things that we now kind of rely on to create these immersive feelings for us. Back in the day, this was all it was. It was just an open world, just completely empty, and we loved it. Ah, there's one. Found a zombie. Come on out, bud. Look at this. Watch this. He's gonna set me on fire. Can you believe that? I'm being conscious of the fact that I do not have coordinates right now. But I know that right around here is where 0, 0 typically would be. So I don't want to build right there. but I do want to build a couple of things that might be seen as monuments further down the line. A testament to the start of a brand new, glorious world for us. You may see me breaking the dirt and wonder, what on earth are they doing? Why are they breaking dirt with their fists? And to that, I tell you there's a clear answer. Dirt is incredibly valuable. Dirt is one of the most valuable materials you can have. Use it to terraform, use it to build, you can make stuff look absolutely gorgeous with dirt. So here, my kind of sad job at terraforming is actually more than that. I am collecting something that we can use further down the line. A valuable tool, a new possibility for a frontier. Using this glorious block, we can create a dirt hut for us to spend our earliest nights in. Good night. Admittedly, this is not quite a typical dirt hut. It's not the normal filled-in mound of dirt or just hole inside of a cave that you would typically find. I'm a professional, and I will not allow those ancient ideas to guide my lovely house. I will have windows, I'll have doors, I will have a green roof, maybe. Let's see how this goes for us. Welcome back. I'm sure you're wondering, Sing, what on earth is this monstrosity? And to that I tell you, it's an architectural work of wonder. Oh yes, I'm sure you think I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I'm speak the truth. This dirt hut displays contemporary ideas of architecture, introducing vernacular styles of construction and native plants to the area. This is an entirely renewable house, made of materials that are easy to access, locally sourced, and the population is fed entirely by a self-sustaining garden. It may not look like much, but this is a hidden architectural wonder. Oh my. Yeah, this is not the most glorious of starts, but this series is all about showing just how lovely the game is, just how fun it is to put together compositions of blocks, put together structures that just make you feel like you've accomplished something. Just putting together this little garden, adding the cute flowers on top of the roof of my dirt hut, my tiny 3x3, 3x4 dirt hut. This makes me feel accomplished, I gotta be honest. And so, unlike where some other content creators of 2023 may have to go and build a mega structure, get diamond gear, get all kitted out in episode 1. I'm gonna take things slowly here in my childhood world. I'm gonna be nostalgic. I'm gonna take things slow. I'm just gonna roll around my lake for a little bit. I'm gonna have fun in this world of Minecraft, and I'm gonna make it into a place that I call home. Slowly and steadily. Not an artificially crafted world, but one that is evolving with the players and evolving with what I need to create at that time. So I hope that you can appreciate the slightly smaller episode where all that we've made is a spawn house. Playing these older versions is a little bit of a challenge. Just rowing that boat, I couldn't even move forward. I had to use left and right to move each individual oar. Things are a challenge. Controls are a challenge. Life is a challenge, and I'm looking forward to moving on so that we can make some bigger, better projects in future versions. All that said, I hope you've enjoyed coming on this nostalgia trip with me, looking at all the things that make old Minecraft what it used to be, and seeing how many things have changed. It's absolutely unbelievable, and if you ever get a chance to play these old versions, I absolutely recommend that you do. But until the next episode where we will be in 0.15, goodbye! Goodbye. Why are you still here? Thanks for watching to the end of the episode. In reward, you get to watch me kill the sheep. Bye, y'all.